special guest. I've got the engineer. I've got the scientist. I have got the guy. When I don't know, I just go straight to him and I was like, hey, I don't know. And he says, okay, here you go. Wolfie, the Wolf with 5 Fs. So we call him the Wolf.
Not to be confused with I don't know.
That's right. That's right. 100%. It is not AKA I don't know. We're going to talk CLS today. We're going to start this team. Wolfie's going to do all 5 of them with me, one video at a time. So that way they don't run too long. So Wolfie's over on Twitch. We've been working together for almost 2 years now. So he is one of the brightest guys I know. So he's humble about it, but I don't care. I'm going to say it anyway. Wolfie, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, sir. I'm excited about CLS.
It's a beautiful spring evening. Got the windows open. Yes. We got some
water in the mug,
barley juice. We're doing good.
Yeah, some kind of apple juice or something in there, 100%. So let's go ahead and get started on this. CLS, guys,
right.
It's really for guys that aren't big into reading. It's like Wolfie's really good at interpreting everything that's in here. In this game, this team changed exponentially when 3 Chupio came out. Don't you agree?
Oh, yeah.
So modding these guys completely changed all over the board. And it also changes when you go up to the upper echelon of the game, because a lot of people are using CLS in order to take down gas. So you have to mod specifically in order to make that about a sure shot. So we're going to talk about that as well. Wolfie's going to give that upper end. He is currently, where are you sitting, about 450 in GAC right now overall in the world?
429.
With what, a 7.8 million account or something like that?
No, I'm a little above that. I'm like 8.3, but I'm down on I'm down a GL. That's the fun part.
Yeah.
We're still working on right. We'll get there.
5 GLs, only 8.3 million, and in the top 500 is amazing. So good work on that. And there's a reason for that. He knows what he's doing. So let's go ahead and get started. Basic with CLS, we are talking about physical damage to target enemy and inflict speed down and defense down both. If the target ally has speed down, remove 30% turn meter. If the target already had defense down, you inflict stun for 1 turn. So 1 of 2 stuns on this team, correct?
Indeed.
Yep. So
he's got the nice one on the basic, and then Han's got the one on the special.
Yep.
They got a lot of stuff on this team. It's got a lot going on.
And everybody's familiar with CLS. I mean, it's not like we're preaching to the choir here, but there are some idiosyncrasies that maybe some people don't pay attention to. And this is why I do it as well, and why we're going to talk about and why to mod them in particular. And you guys know I put the visuals somewhere in the video at some point, usually at the end, but sometimes I'll surprise you to force you to watch. Ha! Got him. See, second ability, deal physical damage to target enemy, dispel all buffs on them, remove 100% turn meter, and inflict buff immunity and tenacity down for 2 turns. Reduce the cooldown of this ability by 1 if the target didn't have full health. This is 1 of 3 reasons why you cannot beat Nest, a solo Nest, and you'll time out. You keep removing her turn meter, you can't kill her. So be careful with Django and Nest, guys. This is where that kicks in, right, Wolf?
Oh yeah, Django, Nest, you just keep on removing the turn meter, and they just never actually get to go, and you just sit there embarrassed as you're timing out, as she just gets infinite protection. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. She's got multi-millions protection. You can't crack through her. All right, call to action. Dispel all debuffs on Luke. Luke gains 100% turn meter and recovers 40% health and protection. Everybody's used to using this. When he does it, Luke ignores taunt during his turn and has 50% accuracy, critical chance, and critical damage. Cannot be dispelled or prevented. When is the best time to use this ability, Wolf?
This is one of those abilities that you sort of hold in your pocket, and the AI tends to use really stupidly. So when you're not in the call to action over there, you're actually gaining turn meter when your buddies are getting hit. So it's on the next ability. I'm skipping ahead. I'm sorry.
You are a little bit ahead.
I know. But in this stance, it's more of like a defensive stance over there. So it's nice to actually use on offense, because you can keep a little more control over things, and then you can flip stances real quick. If you need to heal up, if you need something, you do the call to action. If you need to go and delete somebody real quick, you could ignore taunt and just do what you got to do, and then swap back when you need to. But when to use the call to actions, it's a learned skill.
It is a learned skill.
That's an important one.
Anybody that knows me knows that I like crowd control. Ever since the days of playing World of Warcraft, I learned crowd control, and in this game I use it a lot. In this team, I don't think it's utilized enough as crowd control. Everybody's used to going in, just punching them out as fast as they can, but that doesn't always work. Some teams, you've got to use that crowd control, and this team has it. It has it. Turn meter removal, stuns, debuffs, tenacity down. There's lots of ways You can do it with this team. You throw in Chupio with his big middle ability too, which we'll get to eventually, but that's a big one for the crowd control as well. It controls Padme, so it's a good one.
Yeah.
So to your point, Rebel allies have 50% counter chance, 50% defense, and 15% offense. Whenever an enemy resists a detrimental effect, Rebel allies gain 5% turn meter. So the detrimental effect, what do they mean by that? They mean debuffs?
So detrimental effect, it's not just a debuff. It is debuffs, but it's also, on his basic over there, he's trying to remove turn meter. On his special, he's trying to remove turn meter.
Mm-hmm.
Those are also detrimental effects, which can be resisted. Okay. So whenever those are getting resisted, you're gaining more turn meter.
Basically, anything in here with crowd control or debuffs or something on that line, if they resist it from the other side, he is going to gain turn meter along with the Rebel allies.
So it just supercharges your team. You just start, that's your TM train. You just keep going.
My understanding, too, is even though it says Rebel allies, is he gaining that turn meter, too?
It's all Rebel allies. Yeah, okay. He is part of the allies. He counts himself as a Rebel ally, yeah.
So that's always been my thing with CG, and I know they want to keep the wording short, but sometimes we have to do science and keep our local scientists making sure that they understand how it works as well. So that is that's the leadership.
They do need to get better with their wording sometimes.
Oh, 100%. Next ability, the first unique. While Luke doesn't have call to action, he has plus 50% counter chance, plus 50% critical avoidance, 50 defense, 100% tenacity, and gains 10% turn meter whenever another Rebel ally takes damage. So I want to point this one out. It says plus 50% counter chance and plus 50% counter chance here. If you've got both of these abilities maxed out, does that mean he's at 100%?
50 plus 50 does equal 100. You are correct.
I want to confirm because I know there's a lot of questions with that as well. So that was my assumption. But again, with wording, yes, 50 plus 50 does equal 100%. And the 100% tenacity is nice here too. And keep in mind, guys, these are percentages. So these percentages are based off what their base, Wolf?
So these ones are actually all going to be additive ones. So plus 50% critical chance, critical avoidance over there is just added on to his base. The plus 50% defense, that one's actually multiplicative. So that's a whole nother subject, how the defense interacts in there.
Yeah,
it makes them thicker.
Rough. Yeah.
So we don't have a whole hour-long video talking about defense. And then the plus 100% tenacity, that one you just tack right on. So if you mod him for 100% tenacity, he's got 200%. Nice. Good luck landing anything.
Give me 1 second. My wife just walked in. My apologies. The viewers got to meet my wife for about 3 seconds there. So she walked in, didn't realize I was recording. It binds all things. So this is one of the Zetas. Luke has 40% potency. Yes. Whenever Luke resists a detrimental effect, again, he recovers 5% health and protection. When Luke inflicts a debuff, he gains 10% turn meter, and other allies gain half of that, aka 5%.
Just scroll down on the left over there. Okay, so yeah. That's a big Zeta.
This is the first one.
The first one.
This is the first one. If you don't ever put the other two on, you can get through it. But at some point, when you get these guys to Relic 7 or whatever, you may want to consider putting these other two Zetas on. But early game, this is the one you guys want to put on. Yeah, you 100% want to put this one on.
This is the one that I put on originally to allow you to solo the heroic rank or the heroic rancor back in the day.
Yeah. I had on most of my accounts.
That's a big one.
I did not put all of them on right off the bat. All right, let's talk about his mastery. His mastery is crit chance, crit damage, and damage. So you'd think, well, maybe I should mod this guy for crit damage, crit chance, and damage. Why not, Wolf? Why are we looking at? You're recommending offense and tenacity. Tell me why.
Because Chupio. Because Chupio, like you said, Chupio really changed this team pretty significantly. He is sharing all of their stats over there. Well, not all of their stats. He's sharing their health, their protection, the offense, defense, protection, tenacity. Those are all really, really big, important stats over there. So what you want to do is maximize all of that stuff that you're going to be sharing. Primarily, in my opinion, offense and tenacity. Yep. You just want to stack that up as much as you can. Just want to make sure that your turn meter train cannot be stopped. And you want to make sure that you're sharing the damage where you can break through when you need to. Those are the biggest things for me.
And as it reads right here, we've got The ally leader is Rebel, 3PO, and Chupio gain 40% of the leader's max health, max protection, offense, defense, potency, and tenacity at the start of the encounter, and Rebel allies gain half that amount. So that's what he's talking, that is passing all of these stats over to the rest of these guys. So if you're stacking a lot of, as Wolf says, a lot of tenacity to try to keep Chewbacca from getting ability blocked, to keep everybody motoring without getting ability blocked, etc., this is going to help boost
dazed
it.
is the other big thing. If you just talk about going against gas,
he
does his big AoE and dazes everybody. So you want to make sure that you can keep your Terminator train going. Make sure you can keep assisting. Make sure you can keep countering. Daze shuts you down. You want to make sure that doesn't happen.
I'm actually curious. I'm going to pull this up. I usually do this, Wolf. Give me just a second to drag this down.
Sure.
SWGOH, they have the top guilds or whatever. This is what they recommend. Let's see here. We've got offense and tenacity is the top one. They're not listing. Oh, there it is. 20%. 11% of Commander Skywalker units in the top 100 guilds. So it's split between offense and tenacity, and then speed and health, and then offense and health. So this is actually crazy. I look at these every video, Wolf, and usually there's an overwhelming one. Only 11%. So there's 11, 11, 11, 10, and 8. People are modding them so many different ways, this is telling me. I've never seen one this low before. This is crazy.
Well, it's, if you go back up over there, it's looking at the main mod stats that are there. Offense and tenacity; those are stats that he's sharing, which are good to boost. That's the number one. Health and speed. Health is something that he's going to be sharing and everything, and speed is just going to make up whenever your Terminator train happens to falter. Health and offense, same sort of thing. Crit chance and crit damage, they need to be smacked around. Moving on.
The triangle, they're recommending 55%, so it's a high majority is doing crit damage, and then we've got cross. Wow, I ran out of music already. Hang on. In dedication of Wolf, I'm playing some Celtic music.
If you want my music, I can send you the link.
Got it. Best cross mod offense 45%. There's 16% doing tenacity. Protection is the majority on the circle at 65%. And then, of course, an overwhelming speed mod at 92%, and a few doing offense. So that is...
If you got an absurdly good offense arrow, then don't put it on CLS. Put it on somebody else.
Yes.
Give him speed.
Yes, agreed. All right, so as for his mastery is going to be boosting health, crit damage, crit chance, armor, damage, critical chance, and resistance. So there's two ways that I mod. One of them is the way that, pretty much the same way that Wolf says it. I'm putting the offense and then sharing the stats with tenacity and everything else. Then I got an oddball one that might be something that everybody else might think that I'm crazy for. But I've got full defensive mods on this guy everywhere I can find health protection, any excess potency and tenacity that I can add. But this team is obviously not made for going after gas in particular, but it has done the job. This is my smaller account, also called my main. The other account's a little bit bigger and much higher in relic levels. But from Wolf's standpoint, I'm actually going to show you guys so you can see 4 offensive mods, 2 health mods. Really good character. What any recommendations for CLS that they're looking for from the secondaries?
Say for the secondaries, again, it's just maximizing all of that stuff that you can. Maximizing your
based off of
tenacity. All of those stats that you're sharing, which are just really important for keeping the team going. For all that offense you're sharing is making Han hit that much harder, making Chupio's big hit that much harder. All the protection that you're sharing and offense or health that you're sharing, you're surviving gas just a little bit longer. If you're going against JML or something like that, if you're using them, if you're a crazy person who likes to take him against like a slacker or something like that, then you want to make sure you have as much offense as humanly possible to go for that. You need all the tenacity in the world. These are all just boost the stats that he's sharing, boost the stats that he needs.
I'm finding out recently that some relic 8s and 7s with CLS with high offensive teams on the CLS team can take down slacker nowadays, which is freaking cool.
It's wild.
That is pretty cool. But you are modding for a specific counter. Are they still going to punch? Yeah, they're going to punch. But you can take against slacker. You're not going to take them against gas, more than likely. You're going to get shut down at least 50% of the time, I would think.
Yeah, so, as long as you got the tenacity.
Yeah. So I think we're on the same page when we talk about when you go to mod CLS in specific, because he's the leader, and that's where the stats come sharing from. You want to look at Chupio's last ability and base CLS off of that. The rest of the team, you can work around what you're looking for in particular, which our next 4 videos, well, 3 videos will be based off of. And then we'll talk in the 5th one about Chupio, who has changed this game. Anything you want to add to CLS, Wolfie?
Get him. CLS is a beast. He does serious work.
So,
he's an old character. It's a great journey guide. Go get CLS, man.
Relic Priority in that team.
But he does work.
Relic Priority in that team. Who would you relic first?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I think it's an easy one for me.
I want to say Han and Chewie for their ship.
Yeah.
Just because the Falcon is the Rebel fleet. I'm going
with Chewbacca just because you need him to survive. Plus, he's got the fleet and the ship. The order I did it was actually Chewbacca, CLS, C-3PO when I use him in that team because he's needed for relic or GLs more. He's needed for GLs and all kinds of characters. Like 7 people you need C-3PO for. It's crazy.
3PO is great. Oh yeah,
and he's a great tune and he's so versatile as well. And then I did Han, then I did Chupio. But Chupio was a late bloomer into the game, so.
Yeah.
Zeta Priority, we already talked about the last one being first, but do you recommend all 3?
For CLS, absolutely.
Yes,
100%, 100% recommend all 3. His unique, the second unique first, absolutely. If you want to go back to his kit over there, definitely want to do his second unique first. I would probably do his leader second.
Yep.
So it binds all things would be first. Rebel maneuvers, the leadership would be second.
Yep.
And then the last one would be learn control. The extra crit avoidance and extra tenacity is very, very nice, but the other one's definitely more crucial.
So I'm just now thinking about this. These stats that come off of him that he's getting stacked from these Zetas, are those also coming with the plus 100% tenacity sharing from Chupio?
The jury's out.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's done any actual homework on that or not.
That's come up I don't know how many times, and I'm still not sure.
I wasn't sure if you know or not. Okay.
Who thinks it's this way or one way, or whether he shares that tenacity or not? I'm not 100% sure.
I'm gonna go
people
with
think he does. People think he doesn't.
Not, but I wish I could say for sure. So Relic
the
Priority
is that his unique goes and then Chupio's unique goes, so he has this tenacity, but then there's also the argument of he's only sharing the base tenacity, not a unique tenacity. We don't know.
A really well-modded CLS can solo some stuff too when he gets to relics. Although my priority from him from 1 to 10 right now, and I'm going to put this with an asterisk, is his priority for me is only a 5. He doesn't have a ship. He can still do dirty work at gear 12. Yeah. Once you're ready to bring that team up together, like I said, I think you take him and Chupio up right away and then build the rest of the team around him. How about you?
I got him at 6 right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he does fine work at Relic 6.
Yeah.
He's not crazy.
At our level, it's 7 million, 8 million. You 100% have to have these guys Relic.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt.
There's not a team you can skip out on.
Yeah. And what about a speed minimum?
Speed minimum, I mean, obviously you want to shoot for, the 300s or so, but if you got higher priorities, then, high 200s is definitely what you want to be shooting for.
I got him at a bare minimum of 260 to start out. So if you can get your mods where you need to be and then just move up from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, this team gains so much turn meter, and CLS in particular gains so much turn meter. If you're not using that call to action, or rather you're using the call to action, intelligently, if you're not in that stance, then every time his buddies get hit, he's just taking turns.
Does he need to be? Does he need to be the fastest on the team?
He doesn't need to be the fastest.
I don't think so,
no. He needs some speed.
I've seen teams.
He definitely needs to be moving.
He does. I've seen teams where CLS, Han Solo, Chewbacca. I've seen teams with Chupio that were the fastest. I think the only one I haven't seen the fastest was C-3PO, but all of them work. Plus, Han's going to go first anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. In the meantime...
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Perfect. I can hear you. You just couldn't hear me.
What the hell?
Good stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't hear anything. That was crazy.
Yeah. But I think unless you got anything else to add, that's it for CLS right now. We'll move on to Han Solo next. We'll get that video out pretty quickly, guys. So, Wolfie, I appreciate your time. As always, amazing feedback.
Of course.
Yes.
Pleasure as always.
May the beard stay strong, along with the battalion. You guys are awesome, and don't forget, go ahead and hit that button that's hiding behind underneath Wolf over there. And in the meantime, we are 1 battalion strong.
We are 1 battalion strong.
God darn it, I didn't turn yours off. Oh well.